ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. Ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest. It's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. Awards. The razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news, we analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
Hello there and welcome on board. Yes, it is People's Voice on Voice of People Television, where seeing stories shape the narrative. And of course, today we're dissecting a major story that is dominating the airline, sparking conversation across the nation. National Assembly approves e-transmission of election results with manual backup. Okay, so we've been, am I going to say we've been angry? Some have been, smiling. And some have been, it's been a mixed feeling. And the reason why I said some have been, angry and some have been smiling is because some people have actually said that they were not expecting anything less from the National Assembly. They knew that they wouldn't actually, totally kick off the manual backup. Of course, and we saw the drama that happened at the National Assembly yesterday, where the President of the Senate, said, if you're in support of this, can you stand up? Don't say anything, just raise up your hand. And so many of them did, about 55. And he said, if you're opposing, stand up, raise up your hand, and it was just 15. And you know what that particular one means. I don't know what to say about this. It's actually a mixed feeling. All we just wanted National Assembly to do is to make it, mandatory for the electronic transmission of results. But this is Nigeria, and welcome to Nigeria. Join the conversation with experts and scientists and perspectives. Share your thoughts with us. I am Savior Udo. And of course, before I go into any of the news stories, I believe you understand what today is, both for the Christians and, of course, the Muslim. And it would be very, very bad of me if I just start off the show without talking about this. And sincerely, I'm so grateful and I'm happy that this whole situation, both the Lent and the Ramadan is starting, simultaneously. This is to let you know that Nigerians should remain as one, okay? Unity is all we want. As we begin this holy period, I want to extend my warmest wishes, of course, to all Christians and Muslim friends who are observing their Lent and Ramadan. And I pray that this time of reflection, of prayer and fasting, of course, bring you spiritual growth, peace and renewal. May your sacrifice and, of course, our devotion be accepted, and may you emerge stronger and more united as a community. And please don't forget that we're all one. And the situation of, this security issue in the country where we're trying to attack one another, it shouldn't be a thing of, it shouldn't be a conversation at all. Knowing fully well that we are Nigerians. And this is just not about Nigerians now. It's about, respecting each other's religion. And we should learn to live together, as one. And of course, to our Christian friends, happy Lent. May your journey be filled with hope and, of course, joy. And to our Muslim friends, Ramadan Kareem, may your fast be blessed and your prayers be answered. Let's take a moment to appreciate the diversity and richness of our faith, and of course, strive for unity and understanding. That is all I would say from us here, from my crew, from People's Voice, and of course, from Voice of People Television. We're just saying, may God hear all our prayers. And I believe you are also fasting, because no matter what, you're either a Christian or a Muslim. Of course, I'm talking about, the two religions now. So it's either you are one, and of course, I'm going to ask my guest to also answer the question if they're also observing their fast or they've eaten today. Some people, amongst my crew, when I walked in, some actually said they were just breaking their fast, so I would just allow that particular one to slide. But let's come back home now. Let's come back to the program. Yes, let's look into other news stories with details. And we're taking it up from Kogi State. Kogi Poly rector urges staff to support reforms. The rector of Kogi State Polytechnic, Saliu Sanusi Avidime, has called on staff members, of course, to support ongoing reform aimed at improving the institution's performance. Avidime made this appeal during a familiarization visit to Utakwe campus, emphasizing the importance of strengthening technical education and practical training. He acknowledged the critical role staff play in achieving academic excellence and institutional stability, reaffirming his commitment to staff welfare. The rector also expressed optimism that collective effort would resolve the institution's challenges, including infrastructure gaps, funding constraints, and staff welfare concerns. Of course, away from that particular one, youth key to Nigerians' future, says ADC leader, the national youth leader of the African Democratic Congress, Balarabe Rufai, has urged young Nigerians to take an active role in shaping the country's political future ahead of the 2027 general elections. Rufai emphasized the importance of youth participation in civic and democratic processes, stating that the party views young people as key drivers of political change. The ADC plans to strengthen youth participation at the grassroots level. Initiatives such as developing a satellite internet technology to improve connectivity and facilitate electronic transmission of results. And of course, away from that particular one, we're here at Cross River again. And of course, yesterday, the same Cross River State government said they've actually done so much for this nation that they shouldn't be ignored. And it was actually sending a message to the federal government, of course, because they're also a oil-producing state. But today, Cross River APC pledges 1.5 million votes for Tinubu in 2027. The All Progressive Congress in Cross River State has pledged to mobilize 1.5 million votes for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 general elections. The pledge was made at the stakeholders meeting convened by Governor Basi Otu, who also appealed to Tinubu to support the state's bid to reclaim its oil wells and restore its littoral status. The meeting, attended by party executive, lawmakers, and other stakeholders, aimed to prepare the party for the upcoming elections. And of course, I appreciate APC's faithful for their unity and support. Away from that particular one, don't quit politics after 2031. Abia clerics advise OT. Clergymen and leaders of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Abia State Chapter, has urged Governor Alex Oti not to quit politics after completing his second term in 2031. The group, led by Archbishop Chikezie Elekwa, made the appeal during a courtesy visit, citing the governor's significant impact and the people's desire for his continued leadership. Oti, who has previously stated his intention to retire from politics, acknowledged the advice but emphasized that leadership decisions must align with divine direction. Okay, so I love this particular one where, he has not even contested for the next, next term. Of course, his second term. He's not even contested for the next election, but he's already getting, people in that state telling him, even after you are done with us, after 8 years, we don't want you to quit politics. Maybe you just move in to become a senator, because for you, we actually know that you will do something better for the state. Do you know what it means for Abia State government to say that if anything happens to National Grid today, of course it has been happening ever since we entered the year 2026, that nothing would actually happen to Abia Electric, And truthfully, all of the National Grid that has been collapsing, it has not affected Abia State. I believe you know what that particular one means, ever since Oti came into power. Yet, people like Ojuzo Kalu are actually saying that Alex Oti has been a painter who has just, been painting where and the roads he has actually constructed in his own tenure. But it is okay, the work would actually speak for itself. Let me just borrow the word, from the, general politicians, go and verify. So, away from that particular one, ghost workers faced a March pay cut as federal government closes audits. The federal government has given unverified workers in the civil service a final 2-week window to regularize their status or face pay suspension from March 2026. The Personnel Audit and Skills Gap Analysis exercise has launched a particular index and, of course, a thorough investigation into 2025, and it aims to strengthen payroll integrity and intensify irregularities. The affected officers must complete verification and assessment process by February 27, 2026, or risk salary stoppage and possible termination. It means that some people actually know these people exist as ghost workers and they've been paying them. So if this audit did not happen, such conversation would not be taking place. But let's actually leave it for another day. Kano closes entertainment venues for Ramadan. Kano State Censorship Board has ordered the closure of all entertainment centers, including event centers and DJ operators, effective from February 18th, 2026, to allow residents to observe Ramadan peacefully. The closure will remain in force throughout the fasting period, with reopening dates to be announced later. This is it. I remember that we said something about the Ishba on Saturday at Morning Boss, one of our, program, our weekend program. And I said, we should understand that things are evolving. And I understand that Kano State is also a Sharia state, but we have Christians in that state, and they should look for a way to regulate these things, and so it doesn't affect, other people there. But if this is what the Kano State government wants, and no one has actually said yes or no, then who am I? I believe I'm in Lagos. So let me just keep these thoughts to myself. To join the conversation, kindly call the number 09044732605, 09044732605. Follow us on social media at VOBTV Live. You can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOBTV, and of course, on YouTube with Voice of People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, we'll be taking the most talked about conversation in Nigeria, to be precise. National Assembly approves e-transmission of election results with manual backups. Don't go nowhere, please. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
The views on the street.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries. Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space. Exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikena Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka. I'm an about the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome back to the program. It is still People's Voice on Voice of People Television. The National Assembly has approved electronic transmission of results with manual collation as a backup, sparking protests and a walkout by opposition lawmakers. The bill allows presiding officers to electronically transmit results from polling units to independent National Electoral Commissions. Result of viewing Porter IREF after completing and signing Form AC-8A. However, if electronic transmission fails, the manually signed form will serve as the primary source for results collation and declaration. 55 senators voted in favor of retaining the manual backup proviso, while 15 senators, led by Senator Einaya Abaribe, stood against it. The House of Representative minority lawmakers staged a dramatic walkout, chanting APC Ole. Of course, that was what they said here, implying that the ruling party was stealing the electoral process. The decision has raised a concern about electoral transparency and potential manipulation. We're now being joined by Mr. Elvis Elimihele, a journalist, political and public affairs analyst, a member of the Guide of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria. You're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you, Savio.
I was telling this to you last week. You're welcome on board, sir. All right, quickly, we're also being joined by Dr. Adeto Kumbo Apashe, rather beg your pardon, a public affairs analyst and, of course, a member of PDP and National Presidential Campaign Council. You're welcome on board, sir.
Presidential Council 2023.
Okay.
Because that's the latest one.
There's the latest one. Okay. But, of course, you're still with the latest one.
Well, yes.
How come you still decided to remain with the latest one and you've not moved to the ADC as everyone has been?
Not everyone has moved. Certainly.
We would actually talk about that particular shortly, Dr. Adeto Kumbo. Let me come to you, Mr. Elvis. Mr. Elvis, I know while I was taking the news stories, you wanted to react to some, and I feel you were quite furious at some point with some of the news. So let's hear.
Yeah, I heard when you were one of the news stories was about ADC, talking to the youth to be active in politics. ADC.
Yes.
So I think I love that advice, and I want the youth to actually stick by it, because the future of the youth is what these old men are jeopardizing at the moment. This drama you saw at the National Assembly yesterday, in fact, we'll be seeing for like a week plus now, almost 2 weeks. It started since the day they hurriedly, went on recess because they knew what they passed before Nigerians called them back, So the youth must do something. General Gowon was 31 years when he became head of state of this nation. Murtala Mohammed was 36 years when he became head of state. IBB was 44 years when he became head of state. General Olusegun Obasanjo was 38 years when he became head of state. Look at this age and juxtapose it with what is happening to our youth today. How many 35, 36, 37 years old youth are able to even marry now in their respective home? Are even having a lucrative job that can feed them, then get an accommodation for them, and talk of even settling down? Very few. In fact, it's even the privileged ones. You look at their background, you see they're actually either the son of the politicians or they are connected to the politicians.
You know, I remember growing up, we were told that we're the leaders of tomorrow. And now I'm a father.
I heard it.
And you are.
Yeah, I am today.
You know, people like your grandfathers and now the father. And they told me then that we're the leaders of tomorrow. That's why I'm
telling the youth.
So I just hope they won't also, you know.
This is the time they are to own this nation. What has been happening in Abuja for almost 2 weeks now, the youth must play a prominent role. Otherwise, what brought us to this situation we are is waiting for them. If they don't quickly curb it with these old men, I don't want them to have a future.
But when you use the words "this old man," Mr. Elvis, and of course, Doctor, is there anything that the youth can do about this old man? I'm sorry, because I need to give clarity. If you look at the ruling party, already they have their president who they want him to go again. Now, if you look at the only opposition party that is looking like, okay, every weight is there, there is no young person there. Any young person is not even opening his or her mouth, right, to say they want to contest. It is just between 3 people, you know, Peter Obi, Atiku, and Amici. So where will the young people contest from? From which party exactly? Is it a party that does not have structure in Nigeria?
Well, you see, this whole question about the youth, a lot of things are very much misunderstood. It's just a slogan to say it's the time of the youth. It is always the time of all of us who are alive.
Okay.
Everybody must get involved. All the people you mentioned were military people. They took office by force.
By force?
So
they were not elected.
There is nowhere in the world where the youth will be given preference over anybody. People, look at the National Assembly. It is not only the president that is the leader of the country. Look at the National Assembly. There are many young men and women there. It is not people by old people. It is not a question of just old people and young people. It's a question of your views and your values. You have to fight for what you want. Many of the members of the National Assembly, whether in the Senate or the House of Rep, are in their 30s and 40s and early 50s. They are alive and well. So this thing is not about youth. I was in, well, I left the PDP at one point, I think 2016 or 2017. We were trying to form a coalition of United Political CUPP. I'm sure you remember that. Mm. So we went with all these other
I think
groups.
that's where you have Dr. Chief Ame.
Conference of United Political Parties.
We had all these about 20 or 30 groups. When they all came together, I went with Professor Tunde Adeniran and Professor Jerry Ghana to the SDP. When we got to the SDP, I became the organizing secretary for the SDP in Lagos State before I eventually emerged as the candidate for governor in Lagos State for SDP. I spent a lot of my time, because you know I'm a professional teacher.
Yeah.
I'm from the University of Lagos. So I work with young people all the time. Look, there was nothing I didn't do to bring young people into the SDP. They didn't want to come because the SDP didn't have money, it didn't have structure, it didn't have this. Look, please. I have children, I have family, young people. It's not about how young you are. Your values. We must push that values. And if you're young and you are determined, when did these people, all of these people in the National Assembly, when did they get into office? Some of them in their 30s.
Some of them in their 30s.
So it's not a question of, look, they grow old and grow old in corruption. That's what happened. It's not as if when they were young, they were honest. Many of them are so dishonest. So let's call a spade a spade.
Okay, Doctor, let me quickly say this. For those of the young politicians that we're seeing in National Assembly today, don't forget that so many of them we can actually, trace them to see how they served the Godfather before they were given the opportunity, handing them the tickets to actually go into that particular offices. But today, The youths are saying, we don't even want this old godfatherism thing. Look at what's happening in Rivers. And not only that, did you notice that Kogi State is not making so much noise, unlike the way Kwankwaso is hot now. But of course, Kogi State presently, as we speak, is actually being ruled by a former governor. This Adodo, who is there presently, is just there. If you look at any of their functions, he doesn't even sit all the time in the major seat of a governor.
Our structure is very faulty. That is where the problem is. It is not a question of young and old.
Okay.
It's a question of young ideas and archaic ideas. So, for instance, I can tell you that all these issues about, like him, all of us are with the progressive movement, even though we are old men. So it has nothing to do with that. What will young people do?
No, doctor, don't call yourself old man. You're still looking very, very handsome.
Where will you young people, let me tell you, where will you, let us take the ADC, any party you want to talk about. For instance, in PDP, for instance, our potential candidates, if they win the primaries of the party, will be in their 50s. So you have young people in the PDP. It is possible. But if you go to the ADC, what happened in the ADC? Oh, people who had money, they went to take over the place. They had already taken money. When did Atiku get into politics? He was a young man too. When he was in Constance, was a young man. When he became governor, he was a young man. Yeah. So everybody is young at one point or the other.
All right, since this is not the main conversation, but Mr. Evans, I just wanted to...
Doctor, what I'm emphasizing is they have to show interest.
Sure.
That's the area you made mention of now. Yes. Show interest. If you show full interest, you will be able to also garner some people who have the same like mind with you into it. Not staying at the back and allowing these people who we've known all the years, to actually take it like their own birthright. That's where I am. That's what I'm talking about.
I agree with you.
Even if all the names I mentioned were military men, they got into the military before they got that opportunity. If they were not in the military, they were laid back. Doctor, they won't be there. Okay. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Interest is what I'm saying. You must show interest so that you cannot be. Look at this young man, Yaga Africa, that sponsored the bill on not too young to rule. You say at least that one came into line. It came into being. So things of this nature, the interest should be aroused. They should be told their responsibility so that they know where to step in.
I hold young people accountable. I agree with you.
Thank you.
I'm only going to twist it a little bit. They have to show interest and they have to show commitment and they have to be honest with themselves. Don't deceive yourself and pretend, because I'm telling you, the offers I gave them, not too young to vote, I worked with them. When it came time for them to come and help a party and take over the party,
they wanted money.
They wanted a party that already had money. I am telling you today that if you call some young people who are active, unless they are honest, I tell my students, I say, look, my friend, be honest, don't deceive yourself. If you are after money, if you are after immediate gratification, you're not going to achieve anything. You have to show commitment. First, the interest, but the commitment. The sacrifice must be made. Okay. Like you said, those young people took over, the sacrifice.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They must do
doctor. So, see, when you talk about this particular sacrifice, for some of us, we actually laugh because we've heard this particular conversation, over and over. I remembered during the 2023 elections, before the elections in 2022, in Abuja, I heard some youths, coming out from a particular hotel, which I don't want to give them a cheap advert. They came out of a particular hotel with Mr. Peter Obi, and of course, he also hosted all of the state's Labour Party chairmen there, and some of my friends, Salako, was part of them then, who was their chairman in Lagos, and I remembered some of them chanting a particular thing, and when I asked, our comrade Salako, I said, what happened? He said they were angry because they expected after the meeting, Mr. Peter Obi was meant to tidy all of them with, brown envelopes. And they can't imagine them coming and everybody coming from different places and they just coming to have meeting and that's it. You see that statement of Labour Party, not the give shishi, that particular word. Labour Party lost a lot of members. if we need to go back to, if they need to go back to the drawing board. That's one. Secondly, you see the situation of when you ask the youth to come rally around and see how to build, a formidable party, and they tell you they want money. So the truth is, the youths, so many of them don't have jobs. And now they've actually gone as far as acquiring so many skills, especially tech, and other things. When you ask them to come and work for you, they expect it to be transactional. So if the ruling party has been investing so many of them, it's not because they love the party or because they believe anything.
It's not because they love
the offer that has been presented to them
because of the money.
Yes. So what I would say, since the opposition party or maybe the government has not put so much in place, why don't the formidable party look for a way, you understand, to balance it so as to have this youth? A few of them are actually protesting today. A few would come out with you and say, oh, they are following you and all of that. But so many should have actually joined that movement, knowing fully well that you are a person of merit that they should vote for. But it is easy for them to be convinced. So that's the situation.
This is where the change has to take place. Look, most likely you've gone through the same. I've been in the PDP now for about 10 years. You cannot imagine, and I know the president today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, personally, because when Fashola was governor of Lagos State about 2008 or so, I was actually, after, we had this problem in PDP, and my leaders, Jerry Ghana and Adeno, decided to go away, so I went with them. But, look, at this point in time, young people have an opportunity to come into the party. It's a sacrifice you make. I have been approached till today by members. In fact, I paid a big price last weekend for being in the People's Democratic Party. Because the APC friends of mine, they ganged up against me, and they did something that was unfortunate for me. But I took it. I refused to go to APC. If I wanted a position in APC today, I will get it because I know the president personally. I will call him and I will say, my friend, I'm ready, just give me something. They will be giving me money, I'll just be sitting on the bench. I don't have to play.
Okay.
So it's a sacrifice, my dear brother. You have said it all. You have said it all. These young men come, but don't tell me because you're young. Old men, there's some old people that have honesty, that have integrity. There's some young people that are crooked more than anybody else in the world. So it depends on individual. But what we need in Nigeria today to get it right is sacrifice. And I must commend those 15 senators. And we must never forget that the House of Representatives, the congressmen in Nigeria, voted fully for electronic transmission.
And they actually chanted, a few words.
So we need to know where the fight is.
But doctor,
we have allies.
Doctor, let me respond to that. Since we're in the main conversation, let me respond to that. You said you appreciated the 15 senators.
Led by
Baribe, and of course, Natasha was also there. I watched the video where they said no.
Victor Umar.
Yes, but guess what, doctor? Did you hear one of the plenary section? And after that particular plenary section, I don't know if you watched it, when the APC had their caucus meeting, the president of the Senate made this assertion. I'm quoting him. And he said, they are complaining that people are moving to APC. They are moving because of the things we are doing. I have so many of them there, sir. The remaining ones, that was the statement, the remaining senators that are there in the opposition, they have approached me individually together and said that take us to the president because they want to join. And I told them, I said, I don't just want a Senate that will be full APC. That's why I said they should just remain there as opposition. So do you know that?
Is that what? Well, the Senate President Akpabio is a liar, is a crook. I call him a criminal. We have had this before. I went on TV once and I said he did this. Evidence. When he was NDDC, when he was governor, everywhere he goes,
that's my governor.
Your governor, you should go home and make sure he doesn't get back into the Senate. He doesn't deserve it. In the first place, he didn't even win.
He came in through the back door.
That's why I was not expecting.
Doctor,
we have to send him out.
Doctor, why you use the word he didn't even win? Did he even contest? That's the question.
Well,
he didn't even contest.
Exactly. So this
because the Electoral Act of
that's the reason why I told you I wasn't expecting anything different.
Yes.
Because he knew where he's coming from, and he will continue to oil that same system that brought him in.
Are not. They never asked him that they wanted to join APC. You know how it goes. If they want to join APC, he'd be glad to take all of them.
He will take them.
I will take them.
Absolutely.
So, the man is a professional.
Okay, so let me come to you, Mr. Elvis. What are the implications of having manual backup for election results? Of course, I know it is very serious, but Mr. Elvis, I would like to come to you. And
the implication is not going to be different from what we saw in 2023. On that day of the election, don't be surprised that's the day you will now hear that there is no network in Nigeria. So it's just like taking us back to what we saw in 2023 when they told us there was a glitch at the middle of the coalition. So that's the fear. You will now discover now that on that day, most part of Nigeria will tell you there is no network, and they will now resort to manual collation. And in that manual collation, all the manipulation that is expected is going to take place. That's the fear. That's why Nigerians were like, take this off. Let us now know from the onset, this is what we are going into. But now we are going into what will be easy for them to manipulate, because at the end of the day, they'll come back and feed us with that same lies they fed us with in 2023 that stayed true, that got us to where we are now.
So, Doctor, I'd like to get your take. For the National Assembly, they actually said that the backup is not because they want to, bank on the backups, of course, but should in case there is a glitch or, of course, the loose network. And don't forget that the Senate President also mentioned that about 9 states don't have, network in some of their rural areas. He already said this. And we don't also know what it takes for them to make sure that, networks are working for just that particular election. And if you say that if there is no network, let that election or that vote be cancelled, don't you think that they would have to budget for another money to plan another election?
Look, I think you said it all.
Thank you.
It's all a question of electoral integrity and administrative honesty. The commission that provides information on communication has said clearly
NCC
that 90%, more than 90% of Nigeria has communication. We even have almost 5G is almost 12%.
Yeah.
And 3G,
we have 3 and 2G.
3G is 80-something%. 2G
and this thing can be transmitted with just 2G.
You understand me? It is not an excuse. What we have going on now, Nigerians understand it. Anywhere you go, they'll tell you exactly what is going on. It is consistent with the effort, the determination of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to steal the election in 2027. His administration has become such a failed administration. Now, our economy is going down every day. Security is not there. Unity is not there.
But we're told that the reforms are actually looking good and the economy is getting better.
Well, they can say anything they want to say.
Statistics that is coming from their MPS.
We know.
They even said that food prices are down.
That statistics is coming from their own MPS.
That's how much do you buy a bag of rice? Some are people saying 50 to 40,000.
Well, the point is from where? From where did it come down to 60,000?
And that even after buying the bag of rice, you just take it to the pot and cook the bag of rice and just start eating. Remember how the condiments.
What about the cost of gas?
And even the cost of transporting it to your own house.
So look. Let's just say the fact of the matter is the economy is in shambles, security system. So we are very secure now too. Everything is okay in Nigeria.
So they said everything is actually under control.
Look. Only God will determine how to punish these people. Because we already are ready to punish them. And I'm telling you...
Doctor, when you use the word you are ready to punish them, in what way?
At the elections, we are going to vote them out.
Okay.
Nigerians understand that. And that's why part of the plan is to make sure they deregulate and undermine every political opposition. And that's been going on with efforts to destabilize the PDP, with efforts. Now, you know, they're talking about they want to deregister ADC.
The ADC, that was our conversation yesterday. I was going there. I was going there.
You see, when you have this kind of onslaught on democracy, this one is part of it, whereby whether you vote for us or not, we win. You know? Don't forget that the president of Nigeria is on record, on tape, saying, how do you win election? You take it, you grab it, you run away with it.
Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Davis. Yes.
So what is going on now is simply an effort to deceive Nigerians into believing that, oh, there are some states where, some rural areas where you can't transmit. You can transmit everywhere. And by the way, let me explain something that even I had to think about. I read it from Falana. And it's true. And you vote. Do you vote?
No, I can't. I'm a broadcast journalist. I should be,
you should go and vote.
I should be reporting that
Vote before you come and go back to your job. Anyway, you and I vote. As Falana put it, we don't vote electronically in Nigeria. By the way, you know, I used to work in the United States for 20 years, and I'm telling you, they vote electronically. You know, just like you punch now.
Yeah.
My name shows up, you want to vote for me, bam, bam, you vote for me. That's it. It's electronic, it's gone. Now we don't do that. We vote manually. Yeah. But you know where the problem is in Nigeria? You see, after we have voted manually, in the polling unit, every polling unit, we now have a spreadsheet. That is the EC8A.
Yes.
That sheet is all we are saying. That is the result signed by the agent, your agent, PDP agent, APC, all of them signed that this is the result.
Upload it.
Take that result, send it electronically. Don't take it manually, because by the time it gets to the collation center, you are transferring it from one form to your INEC form. Manipulation
starts there.
That is where it is. You understand me? So look. If there's anybody who is not angry at God's will at Pabio, God will judge all of them.
Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Elvis. Okay, I would need to just, choke you with so many questions now because we're pressed for time. First, I'd like to talk about the situation of this electronic transmission of results. And some of the ruling members, some of the ruling party, their members have actually come out to say that. Did you people hear what El-Rufai said? These are people from the ADC that they've actually, put in place so many tech boys getting set, waiting for this. The reason why they are all shouting this electronic transmission of results is because they want to actually hack the system and manipulate the whole thing. And that's why they are all saying this. They are not saying it because of anything, because if they really wanted election, they would have just gone with the way it is. That's one. Secondly, Mr. Harvis, when you look at this whole, drama from the National Assembly, with Senate saying they are going through with the situation, and of course, reps are saying no, and they staged that walkout that happened yesterday. Do you think that this whole situation will still work out? Do you think that the Senate might still come back to say that, okay, we are only doing the electronic transmission of results, we're leaving back up? And don't forget that I'd like to add this particular one. The same Senate that we are talking about today, the way all of them came to that power, we actually understood.
No, we understand.
You understand? Yeah. So are they trying to repeat what happened before? And don't forget that the registration of ADC is around the corner, and they're going to take it up as well. And if that happens, that means both Atiku Obi does not have any platform to contest.
In all this, it is the Nigerians that are being insulted. We the people are being insulted. The number of people, they're 109 and 306. they are not up to a fraction of 200 and something million Nigerians that they are insulting. And they all come from constituents. And each of these constituents, people voted them, supposedly. Let me tell you, they should not bring El-Rufai matter into what we are talking about. What we are talking about, El-Rufai matter just came up. INEC has about 800 and something billion budget for 2026 in preparation for 2027 general election. They have another 171 billion from appropriation from 2025. You know, put all this together. Whatever hacking anybody is planning, go and safeguard that portal and make sure you give us election. They should not begin to use Verify as an excuse. Do you hear me, Favor? They have so much on their hands to protect it. INEC should leave building hospital. If INEC want to get credibility, INEC is not Ministry of Health. Leave hospital for Ministry of Health. For build for Nigerians. If they put this money together and to give us credible election, we'll get credible election. Ghana just did it. Next door neighbor here. South Africa did it. Then the expecting that Senate is coming back to say, we are reversing it. It depends on Nigerians. It is only we that will hold these people accountable. If you think that those number of persons, those 55, are going to say, we made mistake, it's a lie. Okay. But if they get to their constituents and their constituents say, this is not what we send you, and put that drama and put that sledgehammer on their head, things might begin to change. We own democracy. Democracy belongs to people, and people must owe it. That's why it's called the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now they are pushing us to anarchy. When you remove the people from democracy, it becomes an anarchy. Okay. And that's why they are pushing us to now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Davis. Sir, in just 30 seconds, I'd like to respond before we run.
Look, what Erufai is saying is unfortunate, but he shows you something. He shows you that the government is illegal, and he's ready also to be legal. That's all he's saying. If you rig the election, which you will rig. It's unfortunate, but that's what he's saying. So don't say Erufai is guilty. You are both guilty, the government and Erufai. Now, you see, where we are, there is just no excuse. And I will say something about these members of the House of Assembly. I feel personally that the buck stops with Akpabio, the Senate President. No matter what they do in that assembly, even if all the 55 decide to go against them, Akpabio will he will manipulate the results, as they did with the tax issue. You remember, something else came up, because I remember Victor Ume actually said that 5% of them voted for electronic transfer.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay.
So what happened was the president of the Senate, in his criminal attitude, which he understands very well, has succeeded in manipulating the results now to show that most of the senators agree.
Okay, sir.
That is where the problem is. The Senate president and the president of the republic must be held accountable.
Okay.
Leave the senators alone.
All right, thank you so much.
Let us face the people who are responsible for this adversity that has befallen Nigerians.
Okay. It's really painful that we're pressed for time, and we don't have much time. I would have wanted, this conversation to continue. Thank you so much, Mr. Hevis, for being part of the show, and thank you so much,
it's my pleasure,
Dr. Adek Tokumbo Pierce, for being part of the program. Hopefully, I would have you again.
We'll be back.
Yes, we have to plan another date, on here. Please, I need to just make this a disclaimer. But first, sorry about some of the words. The doctor is quite, angry with the nation, and of course, this administration, and we hope that they would actually do better. The views and opinion expressed by our analysts are solely theirs and do not reflect that of VOP Media. Don't forget that. If you love the world of sport, coming up next is Locker Room. I'd like you to stay put. Don't give up, because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last, but tough will last. Whatsoever you face will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. My name remains Xavier Udo. Have a good evening. Rest.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking